Hello and welcome back, most illustrious members of the Detail. Guys, gals, and N-Pals, monarchs of any, all, or no genders. I am your host D, also known as MtF DOOM on Marvel Snap, and today we're going to talk about Marvel Snap's current awkward teenage phase. I hope that you enjoy. As always, just before we get into it, a big thank you and a big shout out to anyone who likes, subscribes, comments, joins the Discord, or if at all possible, without giving up any of your own, necessities, joining the Patreon. It's $1 a month, and it helps me immensely, mostly to feel like I'm not wasting my time. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, is if you're on the Discord, shout out to me 10 seconds ago, shouting out the Discord, you've probably noticed that I've been playing a lot more other card games. I'm still playing Marvel Snap like regularly. I'm getting all my dailies done and then kind of stepping back. And so right now Marvel Snap is in quite a good spot. I'm not going to doomsay. I'm not going to be like, "Oh no, the game's dying." It is going through a change. The change being mostly that currently they have to expand the pool 4 and 5 because of the spotlight cash system, because most people, if you are like me, if you are pool 3 complete and you have been for a while, right? I've been playing for 10 months now, basically. You are basically caught up through pool 3. You've gotten enough tokens or spotlight caches to get the pool 4 cards, target them, the ones that you wanted, maybe even some of the pool 5. And so right now there's not really a spotlight cache that goes by that I can't get if I don't want to, right, without spending money. So if I I didn't even really want X23. I kind of stumbled into her. I wanted Silver Samurai. I had the tokens. The next card that I want, I'll either have the spotlight caches for it, barring some incredible bad luck, or eventually I'll just have the tokens and I can buy the new cards. And if you're in that spot like I am, you might feel like I do, which is that we are at a point where the game has advanced past its initial intro draw, which to me, you might not agree, the intro draw of Marvel Snap was the small card pool and the sort of fixed power level, right? Especially through pool 1 and 2, that was some of the best games that not the best games that I've had. You get a lot more complexity and therefore a lot more interesting games after you leave pool 2, but it was pool 1 and 2, when you're only playing against other pool 1 and 2 players, felt like playing really strong draft decks in Magic the Gathering. But simultaneously, it was really easy to jump into. In Magic, the card pool is so large, there's so much draft chaff, which is just, if you don't play Magic, it's just bad cards that have to exist, because when you're drafting, if every card was good, it would mean that skilled players would have no advantage, right? If every card was just good on its own, then no pick would be better than another pick, and that's a problem for drafting. So they have to actually print suboptimal cards or niche cards that are better or worse, so that good players can express themselves through their picks. So basically, Marvel Snap, when it was introduced, felt like that. A bunch of people who got together, drafted, and they were all very competent, and they were all playing pretty optimal lists, right? Because there's no such thing as draft chaff. That's not exactly true, right? Yellow Jacket sees functionally no play. There's cards that don't see hardly any play and are usually just worse than other cards. But by and large, you can build, a competent list in Marvel Snap if you are a competent and close to pool 3 complete player. Cool. So that's where we started. Where we're at now is at a point where there is enough cards that you can build a slightly suboptimal but more personalized list were you so inclined. But one, there's not really a reason to, And two, there's not enough cards that players have full agency. And what I mean by that is I'm going to draw a direct comparison to Legends of Runeterra, which is the game I'm currently going hard on. In Legends of Runeterra, you've got cards that want to see you cast spells on allies. It's called like Fated. When this card is targeted, it gets +1/+1. You've got cards that want to cast on any allies. You've got cards that target both an ally and an enemy, and then you've got cards that like when you target enemies with stuff. And so you can kind of like using all, and there's all kinds of other mechanics, but the point is you can kind of mix and match these to make a 40 card deck that is very you've sort of like taken a lot of the different mechanics and put them together in interesting ways, and that's kind of not available yet in Marvel Snap. And like, I think we're getting there. Like I say, I'm not doomsaying, I'm not saying the game is terrible, but like in Snap, at least right now, at least to me, as someone who like brews a new deck every single week for a video, sometimes more than one per week, I'm hitting this wall of like, there's not enough player agency where I can constantly be doing new things that are also semi-competent. I'm fine with a deck being suboptimal. Like, I like suboptimal decks, but like, there's a point where you're just like, okay, I don't know, like, I'm just gonna put a bunch of cards together that strictly do not work, and that's not fun. So we're in this awkward middle phase right now, and like I say, I don't know if everyone is experiencing this. I don't know that, because like, I think part of it is just having like this kind of a collection and having played for this long and craving a bigger release, right? Like I wish that at the beginning of the month, all 4 cards came out in the collector's caches or something, so you could just cache all of them in, get all the new cards for that month, and then try a bunch of different decks all at once and sort of like experiment and see what new things come out of that. But instead there's this slow drip, and it's not adding cards that are like fundamentally kind of changing anything or creating a new archetype, right? I think Darkhawk, High Evo were kind of the last cards that unto themselves created a new archetype, right? Silver Samurai is just like, it's just a card. It's a good card. It's fun. Like, I don't regret opening or using my tokens on Silver Samurai. Wherever he is, there he is. But like, this didn't make anything new happen. This is just a card that slots into a bunch of stuff. It's the kind of card I like, because it's getting us out of these awkward teenage years. It's making it so that we can actually, you know, as players, have agency to build the deck that we want to build. And you know, oh, like, it symmetrically targets lowest power. That's a unique thing, right? Like, we don't have something that's symmetrical and lowest power and whatever. So we're getting there. But for right now, I don't know how often I'll be able to do Brews Days, especially on weeks where there's like a card release that I'm not like super hype about. And I'm just getting ahead of it. Next months are those kinds of releases. That's why I'm making this video now. I'm probably not gonna release content on other games. I might do more Unhinged videos, and I'm gonna keep releasing Snap content, but I just wanted to get ahead of it, let everyone know where I stood. You know, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like actually there is untapped potential? If only you would see it, you fool? Or are you basically in the same boat of like, yeah, like the game is still fun, regardless of everything I've said here. I'm having fun with Marvel Snap. I just don't feel empowered as a player with my own agency. And that's part of what I crave, which is why I've been playing other games as well. Thank you so much, everyone who watches. If you've made it this far, you should probably subscribe, but you probably already are, because very few people make it through the credits of the movie. A special thank you to the following people who have donated their time, money, talent, effort, sometimes all the above, to keeping this channel running. It wouldn't be possible without all of you. The Tiny Ruby, A Frog in a Tent, Clips, Crayon Eater, Cole D, Polyhaze, Sartorius, Demisi, KD, Diston Nelson, and Matt Baggy. This channel is run on the back of people like you. You're as much a part of all this as I am. I appreciate you all immensely, and I will see you all very soon.